So here's Lt General Kalra cutting his, should we say 89th cake, sir?
88 complete, so 89
Yes, the 89th bird. So sir, it was a great pleasure to gift you the Foxtrot Squadron tie today, which you are wearing, and you were so gracious that you immediately accepted to wear it. So the color of our ties is matching today, and the emblem which I am wearing on my blazer, you are also wearing on your blazer. So I think the Foxtrot tie is going to give you, when you will wear it and when you go outside, I think a lot of people are going to, stop you and they will recognize you immediately that you belong to the Fox Squadron. And you also got the Fox First Day cover. Actually, the journey of this Fox First Day cover started from your course, and we are the only squadron in the National Defence Academy which has a First Day cover to its name. Now it has got a history, and which I will tell you after once we are done with this interview. But I was very curious to understand, how did you plan your life after the army? Because the way you have seemed to live after your army tenure was over, I think that's a great lesson which many of us can pick up from you. So your take on that, sir.
Thank you, Arun. First of all, thank you for this magnificent tie. It has bonded me together with you all at once, and the entire generation gap has disappeared. I feel absolutely in my elements with you. Post-retirement, I must tell you that when I retired, I thought about it, what is it that I can do after retirement? Well, I thought I cannot do business, because honestly I cannot even go to the market and buy anything properly. I always get cheated. I cannot take up a job where I have to serve, because now, fortunately, unfortunately, it's difficult to take orders. So then I thought, what is it that I can do? So I said, well, I had the occasion while in service of being instructor in a couple of places. So I thought I can teach. So I approached one of the PSUs, head of PSUs. I said, I have this desire to teach. So he said, what can you teach? I said, I can teach you communication skills, leadership skills, time management. He said, okay, could you please conduct one program for one of my officers? So he got his top officers, and I said, okay, I conducted a program. Near the end of it, he said, can you do it for my other officers also? And can you do it for more than one day, 2 or 3 days? So I said, well, 2 or 3 days means I can't do it alone. I have to have some colleagues of mine, if you don't mind. You know that I built up a team of my own, which I called Generals Combined, which is there till today. And I had, over a period of time, 30 officers working with me as Generals Combined, who would go to various companies where I would be asked to conduct programs on topics that they would choose, from general management to inventory management to logistics to anything. So I'll put together the team which is specialized in that, and then we'll go there and teach. And all the material got collected, everything was ready, and we carried on this for a long time, and fairly successfully, fairly satisfying kind of a thing. But over the period, of course, the activities have, people were taken away, the business also, they also conduct themselves, but I have no regrets. Every time somebody takes, I make something new. So it has been going on. One thing that I've been teaching, which will be relevant to you, until today I'm teaching. It is something unusual. I am teaching senior executives how to plan their retirement. Before they retire, 2 to 3 years before, and I cover a range of subjects in that. It has nothing to do with your finding a new employment or something. It has something to do with attitudinal change, what to expect in retirement, how to prepare, how to shed your power, and how to communicate with people, how to spend life with your children, how to spend time, and topics are 14 topics.
Marvelous.
So this is going on, and even till today I do that. If I have some occasion to sometime to show you, understanding retirement, transition to a new career, communication reversed. I said after retirement, communication will be totally reversed. You have to listen.
Yeah.
Listen from where? Making champions of your children, blueprint to healthy living, prudent financial planning, and all sorts of things are there. And that course, fortunately, has caught on very well. Until today, I am called upon to teach that all over India. I traveled to all parts of the country to do that.
I'm sure so many people would have gained very fruitfully, and so many success stories would have been there.
There would be possible.
Yes.
If they have gained or not, I do not know, but I certainly have gained.
No, definitely, sir, because many people are not ready to actually retire at the ages where we go, and even at the pinnacle, even like if you retire as a 3-star general or a 4-star general, you're still fairly young.
That is.
You can still contribute in a meaningful way to the society. So while in between our conversation, we were discussing about your time at Leh.
Yes.
And I was really fascinated to know, because I have a peculiar love for that place. In those days, when you went to Leh, what was there? I mean, how was the journey like? And
I was posted to Leh, and my family was in Chandigarh, and we had to travel from Chandigarh by air to Leh. And the most funny part it was that if ever you came to Chandigarh for either temporary duty or leave, when you'd go back, nobody knew. Because every morning there would be a flight, that a recce flight would go. If it's clear, you fly. If it's not clear, you come home. So many times I'll go from home, go to the airport, and then come back again. Aaj bhi flight nahi gaya, aaj bhi nahi gaya. So that kind of a thing was there. But wonderful, you were in. And then since all the families was in one place, we were in touch with them. We could send messages, packets, sweets, and all used to fly up and down. And Leh itself, where I was stationed at that time, was totally deserted. The only building which I remember was the residency, where the GOC had his accommodation, and I happened to be his staff officer. So I was the mess secretary there, and a few other senior officers were there. Then of course there was a Bravo mess far a little away, and in the vicinity there was nothing. Yes, we had a cinema. We used to go there occasionally. And the biggest change that ever took place was there when the nursing sisters got posted there. The hospital, they came there, and they were the toast of the town.
Yeah.
Every unit would say, call the girls, call them over, give them a treat, give them a party. And that's how the atmosphere changed slightly. Otherwise, there are just, I think, 3 or 4 shops in the entire town there. But when I recently visited Ladakh, a few years back when I visited, it's totally transformed.
Yeah.
It is more like one of the congested Sarojini Nagar markets than so overcrowded. Total transformation. But those pictures of those days are really fresh in my mind. I remember Leh only of that.
Definitely, sir. I think you have seen so many transformations, your own city, Delhi, what it was in 70s, and how, even my memory jogs to those days when, we were very young and 8 to 10 years old, and this Dhaula Kuan never existed actually.
Yes. Now you see, so many memories come back. Dhaula Kuan, staying in Morigate, from there, if I had to come to the army hospital after my commissioning or during cadetship also, Dhaula Kuan was a stop where only there was a pyao.
Yes.
Pani ka pyao. That was the only location, and the bus number 3 used to start from Kashmiri Gate.
Yes.
And go all the way to cantonment. And the service was, I think, 2 hours, 3 hours ke baad ek bus jaati. So Dhaula Kuan was, an unknown place.
It was out of the city.
Out of the city, it is in wilderness. But now Dhaula Kuan is busier than the center of London.
I think this is, one great thing which, you carry with you, the transformations and the changes and how you have adapted to them. So did you ever find challenges in adaptation? When you see quality versus quantity, we discussed, the kind of content which is available to the people today. Many of them are not able to keep their focus, and they are always looking for something which is constantly evolving, trying to capture that. In your opinion, sir, how much can a human capture?
You see, you can only make an effort because you wish to capture everything. And I had the good fortune that I started playing with this computer even before I left service way back. And I told the ordnance officers, I said, this is, you all have to, an ordnance officer's need for a computer is just like the need of a stethoscope for a doctor. You will have to have that. So I started playing with it. Until today, I play. Today, I have with me my desktop. I have 3 laptops. I have 2 printers.
Marvelous.
And most of the things I do myself.
Yeah.
In fact, when you say, what do I do? I'm always there. Anybody come, I'm always there. My lectures and all I prepare myself. All presentations and PowerPoints I can do myself. But then, as you say, there are so many advances. And every time you do not know what to do, then you ask your grandchildren and they will tell you what to do. And I must tell you a small anecdote on it. I once had some problem trying to do feed in some information of the computer. Maybe it is some ticket booking or something. So I couldn't do it properly. So the man who was helping me on the line, on the other side, he said, do this, do that. When I failed to do that about 3 times, then he said, "Saab, aapke ghar mein koi bachcha hai?" Usko bulaiye, he will understand. So we learn. Future generations, they are far, far ahead of us. You have to learn from them, and you have to know that it is now education reversed, learning totally reversed. So they are better. But then, as you say, the rate of change and development is so fast. It's very, very difficult to cope up. You are always lagging behind, and you will continue to lag behind, and that is what it should be. You try to catch up. The day you catch up, I think that will be the end of it. Now they talk about AI, and they talk about. My grandson sent me something. He's in Facebook. He sent me something on machine learning. I said, I want to learn machine learning.
Wonderful.
So I learned about 3, 4, 5 pages. I went. Then it became rather technical. So I said I gave it up. So elementary machine learning, AI, blockchain, all these things. At least the lingo is known, but the actual application is rather difficult at this age.
I think this would be a very important thing for people who would actually see this video. So I think now is the time, sir, to bring the strength of your life in this video, and I think that is the good lady who's just sitting on your right.
Yes.
Ma'am, if you can come a little closer, because this camera, I think you will have to really squeeze together a little more closer.
We would never been closer than this.
So sir, I think today is a very special day. And for people who are seeing this video, it is very important for them to know that Mrs. Kalra is from the Miranda house. She is a army brat herself, if I can call it. Her father was in the Army Medical Services, and they've been married since 1963, and we are in 2023. So I leave it to you to calculate the years. Phenomenal, and the way I see both of them as a couple in their home, the way they are managing, and the way they are living their life, I think a great lesson. So ma'am, quickly from you, how you have maintained yourself, how you have kept yourself busy?
Mostly playing cards, meeting friends, and enjoying kitty parties. And I watch Netflix also a lot.
Very good. I was seeing when we were interviewing General Kalra, so ma'am was on her mobile and she was not using her glasses also. So it means
she's got cataract done.
Okay, all right. So I think your eyes are brand new now.
Now they are.
and you can see all the colors.
What she hasn't told you, she keeps on reading a lot.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful.
Novels especially.
Wonderful. And who's your favorite author, ma'am?
Almost all. Whatever comes.
Oh, wonderful. So I think this is what makes a complete life. When we see you, I think it gives a great motivation to live our life the way you have actually lived, and seen so many transitions. I mean, it's not easy actually to capture. I mean, we all remember our childhood days, but you carry so many things along with you, and jumping into the 21st century, and we wish that you go more stronger than this, and keep blessing us in this entire journey. Today we celebrated General Kalra's birthday, and I think the cake and the savories were absolutely perfect. So thanks a lot, sir and ma'am.
This transition that you said, being a product of partition, when I was 12 years old, I have very clear memories of those days. And I consider myself fortunate that I learnt Urdu,
yes,
I learnt Hindi, English, a bit of Persian, a bit of Sanskrit. And thus today when you look back, and they're not, in fact, on the TV or something, she sees something, Urdu, ye kya likha hua hai, the concept. So that is a very helpful thing to have. It's both fortunate and unfortunate.
Yes.
When it happened, we thought the end of life. But if it hadn't happened, all this would not have been
Yes,
possible.
absolutely.
If it hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been in the army.
Hmm.
I would have been somewhere else. If it hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learned out. I wouldn't have gone through this kind of change. It's a transformation, total transformation from a civilian child to an army man. And she also, we pulled along. Of course, we do.
I will carry a very important, part of this conversation with me, sir, when you mentioned about the new suit which you had got.
Yes.
And, when you were told to do a front roll in that. When I got my first suit, it was not a new one. It belonged to my grandfather. And I literally waited, that someday I will grow that big that I will wear that suit. It was a 3-piece. And I still remember the first ever time that I wore that coat and it fitted me. I think that pleasure, I have never got it in my life. I must have worn so many suits and, been out of them. But that was the best pleasure. I think that is one similarity that I found between you and me, though we are generations apart. 37 and a half years.
उस वक्त तो सूट नहीं होता था.
Yes, it was not
It
there.
was just unheard. टाई तो सवाल ही नहीं था. Collar बंद किया सूट पहना. And I still remember the color of the suit.
Yeah.
And it gave me jitters. I said, what? But the chap said, you have to do it. There's no question. And what is a front roll? Don't even know what is a front roll. He said, okay, I'll show you. And on Bajri.
Bajri.
My God, it was...
No, I think General Kalra, it's been a great honor to, personally know you. And this is the second time that I'm meeting you. Last we met, I think, about 4-5 years ago at Noida when you had come and attended the Fox Noida get-together. And today, nothing has changed, sir. I think that's the greatest part. And the way we have been able to bridge, this whatever the time that I must say, 37 and a half years is a long time. And this video, when it will go to people of 140th Foxtrot, 145th NDA, you can imagine, 140 courses plus and minus, 70 years. So that is, I think, the beauty of, I think some amazing recollections, sir, great recalls. And you were sharp as ever. I think the gentleman who praised you for your staff college presentations, he literally meant it. So I think great time with you both, and thanks a lot for giving us this wonderful time.
Thank you very much. It's great knowing you, and I've seen also your profile and what all you're doing, and the way people have mentioned about your skills to negotiate and communicate and others, and do your transition from business also, from your Navy life to business, and your experience in the Navy and submarine and whatnot, and God bless you.
We need one last message from you for all the armed forces people, sir. I would not square it down to NDA or Foxtrot or something, to the armed forces people. What would you like to convey to them as a senior veteran?
Well, all I would like to say is that transformation is there and it is to be accepted. Adaptation has to be there. And I would admit frankly that all those who keep on saying कि हमारा ज़माना अच्छा था, I think you forget it. आज का ज़माना, today's officers, today's generation is much better, much more qualified, and they're delivering the goods better than we could have done. I admit that frankly. So never ever say that हमारा ज़माना अच्छा था. मेरे ख्याल में आज का ज़माना पहले से भी अच्छा है, and the generations are doing extremely well, and I wish all the generations of the Army and the Armed Forces and all Navy, Air Force and all, Fox and everybody else, all the very best. You are doing great service to the nation. Continue to do great. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. We really enjoyed doing this conversation with you, and I think it's going to set the correct course for the NDA Tales series that we are doing, and I don't know where it will stop, because I think it has a possibility to continue forever. So we will continue with it, and you will keep getting lots and lots of new links after your video emerges on the YouTube channel. So thanks a lot, sir, for making this time and giving us this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you very much.